If you get healthy from head to toe, the body will heal.
Her legs have gotten a lot better. Her hips are straight. Big improvement.
I just want everyone to know that she couldn't lift her arms up, what, 3 months ago?
I couldn't move my right arm at all. Now I can.
My hips were hurting. My knee was hurting. I was having really bad back pain. It hurt so bad it'd take my breath away. And all of that went away within 2 weeks.
Your legs look straighter.
Way
Legs
straighter.
definitely look straighter. Shoulders look more level.
So in her first photo, she's fully leaning forward and to the left, like big. This is not straight at all.
Yeah, man. You can skip the tumor. What's next after the tumor?
Skip the tumor, he says.
It's type 2. Keep going. Kidney function restored. Keep
That's an
going.
important one. What do you mean keep going? These are huge. It's a shame that when it's you, Dr. Reese, you're walking through the park, just talking some reality, some truth about this, and then that goes viral. But then, yeah, we actually get the results here and nobody watches it. So we're forcing people to listen to these right now. But these are great. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. As always, extremely special episode here today. I'm with two of my heroes today, Dr. Kevin Reese and Coach Levi Limer from the Peace Over Pain Clinic. And they're both my heroes for different reasons, to be honest. New listeners, maybe you haven't seen our previous episodes with Dr. Reese. Quick recap. He was a radio personality in the music business in a past life, which is, to me, admirable to leave that business because it's kind of an easy business. You don't have to take anyone's life into your own hands or anything like that. And it's pretty lucrative and it looked pretty fun. You're hanging out with celebrities and rappers and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Tough life to leave. But you had your own health issues. And on that journey of fixing your own health issues, you went and, collected certifications in detox and postural therapy and, went and got a full-blown PhD to put the doctor beside your name just to have the credibility to do this. But not only to do this, to be taken seriously in the mainstream world. And I think that's very admirable. It's something that I have not done. It's a huge step.
And they still call me a fake doctor.
Still, of course. Even if you were an MD, they still would. As long as you're talking about vitamins, they're still going to attack you. You see them still attacking Paul Saladino, right? Doesn't matter if you're an MD to them. So, very, very cool. And Dr. Reese has huge plans to create a school and a whole new type of accreditation to create a whole new type of doctor, basically, the head-to-toe healer.
Yes.
And Coach Levi, I respect him for a different reason. This business is very tough. Very few people would want to go into such an intimidating field and such a stressful field. Talk to any doctor or nurse, dealing with people at their worst, taking responsibility for their health and their recovery is a huge, huge deal. So for Levi to do this, at such a young age. Levi, how old are you? Don't mean to put you on the spot.
I'm 22 right now, but I got into it, 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, 2-3 years ago. So that's incredible. Most of us at 19, 20 years old, we were not thinking about taking anywhere near this type of responsibility, but you stepped up and you stepped up huge. And not only do you have to, you guys all know this, not only do you have to actually help people, which is a big enough deal, you also have to put up with the backlash that comes from the non-believers online. And I've been pretty lucky that we don't get too much backlash, but it depends on how hard you push it. And
that's all I get.
yeah, well, you've been pushing it hard, and yeah, that's what you get. You get pushed back.
I'm dancing on the line.
It's not easy to deal with. So both of you guys are basically in the trenches here of alternative medicine. And we're here to talk today about some of your most impressive cases because you guys are doing something awesome, which is keeping good records and getting video testimonials before and after. This is something that we need a lot more of. So I'm very, very happy to see some of these and have the audience see some of these as well today.
Yeah, that's something that I've been doing for my whole career. Being a video guy to start, and it's something that I was surprised at, that not too many practitioners do. And even guys I've studied with. So I think at the time of this recording, as far as I know, I have the most healing testimonials on video that anyone's ever seen. I think the last we put them all back to back, Levi, you can confirm this, it's about 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine that, 3 hours of testimonials. That's more than a movie. That's longer than a movie. So, you have to wonder where that's going to be, in 5 years or even 1 year, 2 years. So we're doing something different. And I think that's a big reason why we get the pushback. That's why we get the death threats. That's why we get the, you're a fake doctor and you're dangerous and you need to be stopped, because it's on video. And no one has it on video. Why? I have no idea.
It's
But
pretty hard. It's pretty hard to get people on camera, man. Even some of my friends, I'm like, please, please, please just record it. A 1 minute, 1 minute. Especially some of these things are embarrassing,
yeah.
hemorrhoids and, certain women's problems, vaginal problems, and, constipation, diarrhea, just stuff that people
Well,
don't want public.
what we do is we bring them into a community. We bring them in and we facilitate their health in a community where they have coaches and everything, and they feel comfortable. And they pay us a lot of money. We are not cheap. And the whole idea is, if you're investing in this, it's like you got to give it your all. And in order to give it your all, it makes sense for you to do a day 1 video. Then it makes sense for you to do a day 120 video. And that's the base of our program, is 120 days. That's why in our testimonial videos, you see a lot of people saying, oh, I'm on day 87 or I'm on day 60. But we actually count the days. So, it's worked. I've been doing it since 2016, this 120-day program, and just keep updating it, and had to upgrade it again when I met you, Ryan, and started learning from Dr. Wallach and started getting into the postural therapy. So this 120-day program it keeps evolving through the years, but the format and the marketing of it has never really changed. It's a machine. It's a healing factory. It's a factory. We have a factory.
It's awesome. And I've said it before, but I really like the 120-day mark. We've always gone by 3 months. You'll hear 3 months again and again in this business.
Yeah.
You need at least 3 months to see if something really works. You need at least 3 months at the gym, to measure your results. Obviously, if you go to the gym hard for 2 weeks and stop, absolutely nothing is going to change about your life. You need to keep going at least 3 months and to form those habits as well. And for me, I've always been going on that 3-month train as well, but then I added in a month digestion program for almost everyone. So yeah, just immediately add another 30 days to that. Now we're at 120 days, sort of minimum. And even further than that, if you have a very, very serious health problem, like cancer, for example, I've heard it said before by other practitioners that you're in for a 2-year turnaround.
Yeah.
Even if you start to see great results around month 3, 4, 5, your tumor markers are down, you've lost weight, you got lots of energy, you should still be carrying through a pretty extreme program for at least 2 years until you're smooth sailing. And then, of course, you continue the best of those habits. You don't need, the extra supplements and all that at that time. But a lot of people are trained to think that things can be reversed quickly. And some of them can, for sure. But again, once again, if you get rid of your pain in 2 weeks, which can happen, or a month or two, and you go back to your life, it's going to come right back. So forming these habits over the long term definitely is the most important thing. And 120 days to me is a good bare minimum for setting all that stuff in stone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we help people for a whole year too. It's just the 120 is like the intense part, you know, it's the jump start, you know, the trampoline that sends you off. And, you know, the goal is for them to be able to take care of themselves after a year. Yeah.
And I think that is reasonable.
Yeah. People
So
need to take care of themselves, man.
in you've got several books, by the way. Anyone could check out Dr. Reese's books on Amazon or peaceoverpain.com, correct?
Yeah, it's a trilogy now.
Well, you've
So
got even other books before that too.
yeah, I've paused a lot of them because I've updated my knowledge. But the trilogy right now is the big thing that's selling. And, you know, Peace Over Pain is the breakfast, Reverse the Cause is the lunch, and Dinner with Dr. Reese is the dinner. And there's acknowledgement of you and Chef Norman Goodies in there too, because you guys inspired me to make this cookbook. So
Well, I love that. And so just very brief recap here. The first in the trilogy, The Peace Over Pain, is a book I really love. I was thinking of also writing a book that's like an introduction. And when you came out with Peace Over Pain, I said, well, I guess I don't really have to write the book anymore because Dr. Reese did a good job at that. No reason to double up. So you've got three main components to the Peace Over Pain program: nutrition,
Yep.
postural therapy,
Yep.
and mental health.
Yep. Yep. We use the term mindfulness, but it's the same thing essentially. Mindset, whatever term you want to use, awareness.
Where do you take things in the second book?
The second book is all about going over each condition and looking at it from a head to toe perspective and discovering the root causes of that condition. And some of them are umbrella terms. For example, one chapter is gut dysfunction. So that's going to cover your Crohn's, your colitis. That's going to cover your gastritis. That's going to cover all of that. Thyroid dysfunction is another chapter, you know. But there's 60 chapters, 60 chronic condition chapters. And it just gives people a head to toe healing perspective. And really, Ryan, it's really a textbook for the new school. I'm just thinking ahead. It's really a textbook. This is best for practitioners more so than someone who needs help, really. So, but I needed to get it out now. You know, because I'm not just pushing a program here. I'm pushing a concept. And that concept is if you get healthy from head to toe, the body will heal. And to look at the body from a macro level instead of a micro level. So, yeah, you know, your migraines could be coming from 7 different things. Which one is it? Well, if you get healthy from head to toe, it doesn't matter. So that's what I'm doing in this book is I'm just laying out all the root causes. You know, is the migraine coming from a cervical flexion from the neck being forward? Or is it coming from a food sensitivity? Or is it coming from a nutritional deficiency? You know, and I think this is the new, I believe that this is the future. I wouldn't be investing money into it. I believe that this is the future, and there will be an academy called the Head to Toe Healing Academy, and people will be able to be certified as a healer, a head to toe healer, not a doctor, not a coach, as a head to toe healer. They could still be a doctor or a coach, but this would be a head to toe healer. And then me and my team don't have to take the clients anymore.
Which would be the best case scenario. And a lot of people might think this is weird, but the goal to me in this business has always been to make us redundant.
Yeah.
You shouldn't need someone like us. The whole world should just know this.
Right. Right. And I'm also passionate about business. And so I'm kind of combining my two passions here. Because as a head to toe healer, we're also going to teach them how to run a business. And they can use our marketing. You want to use Dr. Reese videos? Use Dr. Reese videos. You want to use Dr. Wallach videos? Use Dr. Wallach videos. You want to use Ryan videos? Use like here's the material. Go start a business as a head to toe healer. All you need is leads. You need people in your DM saying, hey, I need help. And then from there, you do what you do. And everyone can be successful and be doing something good in the world, making money for them and their family, but also helping people. And so that's really the goal here.
And the lead part is pretty easy, especially right now. The last 2-3 years, this business has exploded. Millions of people are coming into the alternative health world. Millions and millions of people were forced to think and talk about health for a few years.
Oh, yeah. The so-called pandemic changed everything. And that's why when I opened this clinic, I deemed it virtual clinic.
Well, we got to be accessible to everyone.
Right. Absolutely. And people ask all the time, can I come? Because they know we have a place. You know, can I make an appointment and come by? And people will drive 2-3 hours for us. And I'm like, no, we're virtual. Our headquarters are studio. I'm in a studio right now.
Mhm.
You know, Levi and Sean are over there in the other room, the other office. They're 30 feet that way. We got a whole thing, but it's not for clients. It's for us to make content and for us to take phone calls and for us to facilitate a virtual clinic and soon a virtual school.
I'm stoked for the school as
And
well.
we're just waiting for you to come visit.
My border situation's a little bit complicated, but
the border. Oh no.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that a little bit off.
We gotta smuggle you into a trunk.
When the recording finishes, we'll talk a little bit because
Okay.
I think I'm finally ready to jump in with you guys as well.
Okay.
So before we get into the case studies, I want to hear a little bit from Levi.
Sure.
So you fully moved, you relocated to Connecticut to be in person at the virtual clinic Peace Over Pain with Dr. Reese. How has it been? What's different? How have you updated things, Levi, in your own mind and how you go about things? Because you started kind of just as a lone wolf. You had my help and guidance and some other people as well, but you were trying to do this by yourself, and no one knows better than me how hard it is to do this by yourself. So how has it been over there? Tell us about it.
It's been such a world of change. I mean, when I was in Minnesota, everything was just, there was a lot of distraction, right? There was a lot of I wanted to give my all to Dr. Reese's cause and head to toe healing and all this stuff. But I just had other responsibilities over there. And I just knew that I eventually had to rip the Band-Aid off, so to speak. So Dr. Reese is always, hinting at I should be over there and that it would just work out so much better if we were all just, connected. And it's very true. It was probably one of the most life-changing things for me. I mean, being the age I am, it's pretty much just like going into college. I mean,
yeah.
But
He's
off
getting
in a
some
different
life
world.
experience, Ryan. He's getting some life experience over here. It's not just health, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, one of the biggest things was mindfulness. Kevin here taught me so much. I'm such a great mentor for all my questions. I mean, it's a big journey, but it really started when I started working with Kevin over last February is when I got involved with you.
It's been a year.
But, yeah, it's been very much a practice for that. And ever since I've been here, it's just it gets better, every single day. It's the purpose that I wake up with over here is just, it's remarkable. I mean, the testimonials that we get and the cause that we're up against, the medical monopoly. I mean, I live with people that are in the medical monopoly, and to see their life like how it is, it only gives me that much more purpose. So I'm really, really grateful to be a part of this. Grateful to be over here.
Yeah, and Ryan, if I could inject a story here, I had an office and, just a regular size office, and I was doing that by myself. And then I decided I wanted a podcast studio, so I got another office across the hall. And so it was still too small for what I wanted to do. And then this beautiful suite opened up, and I would come up to the suite almost every day and walk through it empty and just be like, man, I can do something with this. And at the time I was doing that, I was talking with Levi. He was working with us, but virtually. And then once that urgency hit on whether I'm going to buy the place or not, I was just like, Levi, are you coming or not? If you're not coming, it doesn't make sense for me to buy this place. Are we going to do this or what? You know? And so Levi coming to Connecticut, traveling to Connecticut is a very, very big piece of what we're doing here. And it also attracted Coach Sean, who came a month later. So he saw Levi like, holy crap. And he already liked the work. So it was like, everything was just in alignment, I guess. But Levi making that jump was what sparked us to go to the next level, And I got rid of the other two offices and I just moved into this suite. And now we're expanding and getting more space.
Sounds sweet.
The suite is sweet.
We're much more powerful together.
Yes.
And Levi, you mentioned that Dr. Reese helped you with your mindfulness. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people think that our job is to help other people, and it is. But if we don't take care of our own mindfulness, our own mental health, then this business can easily crush you. Easily. I've seen
Oh my
many,
gosh.
many people come and go because it's so hard to deal with people at their worst, especially if you don't have a good program. Luckily, you guys do have a good program. But yeah, you were living with your parents before, right?
Yeah.
So even if we love our parents, like I love my mom, but I can't do much at her house, it's not set up for it. It's not the vibe. I
Yeah.
either got to be by myself in grind mode or be around other people who are on the same page and dedicated to this as well, and also understand the difficulties of it, because we have to look out for each other. And you guys do posture as well. I could use someone to remind me, hey, you got to sit up straight. I try and remind myself, to be honest. Actually, Dr. Reese, since you introduced me to the importance of posture, I see it everywhere now. You made those videos about like Vince McMahon and Muhammad Ali and stuff, and showing how their head is all forward and how, okay, now their brain can't really drain properly.
Yep.
My goodness, I see this everywhere now,
Yep.
on TV, on YouTube. Yeah, fighters and sports stars and people at the grocery store. Wow, that must be one of the biggest posture problems out there.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And it's coming from the thoracic spine, and then the thoracic spine's coming from the lumbar spine. The lumbar spine's coming from the pelvis. So we're always coming back to that pelvis, which you can see Mr. Bones behind me. I mean, this pelvis is everything. It's the core of our entire body. It also affects the gut, you know? And so if you ever get someone with a gut issue and the nutrition doesn't fully clean it up, it's that lumbar spine. Because if the lumbar spine is not in order, that's right in the back of the gut. And so your intestines can get out of order and out of alignment, and it can totally mess up your digestion. And so that's how powerful posture is.
Yeah, plus the vagus nerve that connects the gut and brain. Like most people have that like hunchback.
Yep.
It's tough. And you call, I love your word, you call us computer athletes.
Right.
And we're very prone to these types of problems.
Yeah, I'm still, just because I'm the world's most famous fake doctor doesn't mean I don't have health issues. You know, 40 years of being a computer athlete. Well, not exactly. Well, probably from, you know, 13 years old on. So it's just a lot of decades, and the body becomes compromised. And then you go out and you do something. You could just go for a jog, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, you, your knee gives out, and you think it's from the jog, but it's not. It's from all those years of getting your body out of alignment from being on a computer or whatever activity it is that you're doing. I'm nursing an injury right now, my left hip. It happened during sex, but I know that it's not from sex. It's from being a computer athlete for the last 30 years.
Maybe the best way to get an injury.
I wear it proud, my friend.
So, you mentioned thyroid.
Yeah.
You guys have any thyroid cases to talk about?
Not off the top of my head. There's so many, I don't even know them all off the top of my head.
Who's got them lined up here? Levi?
Yeah, so
you want to play them, or we're talking about them? You could share the screen and play some if you wanted, I'm sure.
Yep, you guys can share the screen. I let all participants do it.
Okay.
And let me just say that over the past 2, maybe 3 years is only when I started really paying attention to thyroid.
Yeah.
And it confused me a lot because there was quite a few people, especially women, who were doing everything right. They're on the proper supplement program. They're not eating the bad foods. In fact, they eat better than I do. They exercise. Everything seems to be fine, but they're having trouble losing stubborn weight, especially. That would be one of the biggest things. And especially with women, they got 20, 30, 50 pounds that they just can't get off. And I'm having trouble explaining it, but they're doing everything right. What's going on? So thyroid. It really it hit me one day that it was thyroid, sent me down a 2-year rabbit hole learning about it. And even to this day, now I'm still finding cases that haven't gotten their perfect results yet. And we finally get on the Zoom and go over, their case top to bottom and find out that it's probably a thyroid problem. I didn't know how to notice this before, and I didn't know what to do about it. So I think it's one of the most unknown problems, especially doctors. They'll say if your TSH is like under 4, your thyroid stimulating hormone, oh, it's under 4 or under 3.8 or whatever their range is. Oh, you can't possibly have a thyroid problem because you're still within range, is what they say.
Right.
Now I'm realizing that if your TSH is like 0.8, that's probably low thyroid. And you can look at other symptoms, are your hands cold, feet cold, you got a cold nose, you're wearing a sweater in 90-degree weather, everyone else is hot and you're not. Do you have 20, 30, 50 pounds, especially around the midsection that's just not going away? Is your hair thinning? Is it brittle? Those types of things I really just wasn't paying attention to before. I was just like, okay, you don't have arthritis anymore, it's great. But still, there was still an underlying thyroid problem. And I was patting myself on the back that they don't have joint pain or their blood pressure went down. And yet they still had these symptoms that I couldn't explain. I'm just saying, more often than not, it's been a thyroid problem. It's been a tricky thing, and it's definitely underappreciated. There's probably millions of extra hypothyroid cases out there that are not diagnosed, or that their doctor told them, now your thyroid's got to be fine because your TSH is within range.
Right. And certainly can mess up calcium too. But right back to posture. Thyroid's in the throat area. Cervical neck. The cervical. Huge. Huge. If somebody's got that forward head, they got pressure coming down on that thyroid and parathyroid, So this posture stuff, man, it is fascinating.
Never thought about that before.
Yeah.
Crunching the thyroid.
And so if the medical monopoly doctor runs labs and the lab comes out normal, like you were just talking about, it could be a thyroid issue still, but it could be posture causing a thyroid issue. And then that branches out. It's a snowball effect. And then that creates other symptoms. So again, we're right back to head to toe healing and saying, it's nice to know the cause, and that's why we have our discovery analysis to make people trust us and see what's wrong. But at the end of the day, dude, just get healthy from head to toe. Get your body back into alignment. We can see that. We can see that. And then get your nutrition back into alignment. And you can't always see that, but a blood test can tell you a little bit. But the bottom line is you just get these things in order and the body will do its work.
Levi, you got a case for us?
So, as for like thyroid and Hashimoto's, can't find one right now, but I do have gut issues, testimonials, I should say. And I do have lupus.
Let's do the lupus. I know you guys posted a Hashimoto's not that long ago, maybe 3-4 months ago. I shared it.
I don't even remember.
I know trust me, my
Yeah.
records too, I get lost too.
My marketing director let me know this morning that we released 300 pieces of content in February so far.
Wow.
So it's just all blur, man.
Let's do the lupus. A lot of people think lupus is something tough to deal with. Maybe it can be, but to me, it's pretty easy. But you can also completely change their life because they have so many symptoms associated with it. Like it's a simple thing that can cause so many different symptoms.
Yeah, Levi, that's like an hour-long video there.
It is. Oh yeah, it is like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I guess we should also say that lupus actually isn't the cause of anything. Lupus itself is a symptom. It's just that when you have something as, yes, a big enough symptom like that, you're going to have a lot of other symptoms.
Man, there's so many.
Gotta go through them all.
You see this? Hold on. Before you go, Levi, go down, please.
Yeah.
Keep going till you see her hips. See that? Look at that, Ryan. This woman never paid us a dime. She just was listening to the videos. Look at her left hip.
So for the audio, because the vast majority of people will be listening on audio, and PS for the audio listeners, I have been posting videos. I've been posting all of the video versions of the podcast when they're available. They all go on Patreon, patreon.com/therealnotus. All the episodes, whether they're audio or video, go up at least 1 week early on Patreon, sometimes several weeks early if I'm very on top of things. But I've also been posting some of these video versions to YouTube and Rumble. All of those links are in the description. So we're looking at a woman here, and her one hip, obviously, even from an untrained eye, her hip is way out of whack, and her whole body looks out of whack because of that.
Yeah.
Like her right leg is sort of jutted a little bit backward. Like,
Levi, what's the comment there above?
I just wanted to post and say thank you. I found Dr. Reese on IG by Pure Divine Design. It's been 4 months of hard work, but it's starting to pay off. I've lost 5 pounds. The chronic pain, fatigue, and anxiety are decreasing with every month that goes by. The pic below shows what diet changes, static back, and essential nutrients can do.
Wow.
so her spine is not perfect from what I can see, but her legs have gotten a lot better. Her hips are straight, more straight, almost straight.
Yeah.
Big improvement.
Yeah.
And even though she said she only lost 5 pounds, it looks like her body has changed shape quite a bit. It looks quite a bit healthier.
Yeah. And again, this woman never paid us a dime. I mean, she bought the book. She bought the book and she watches the videos online. She's not even doing a postural therapy routine.
Well, that static back is powerful stuff, man. It's a very basic exercise that goes a long way. I've shared it with several people.
Yep.
People like us who sit for a living, construction workers, all kinds of people actually. They've said, you know, I got a posture problem. I don't think I can fully afford the full program, but is there anything I can do? I said, well, check out their free exercises that they've got. And
Yep.
that's usually the first one. It's the easiest one to do. And
Yep.
there's a lot of people who don't want to go a day without that.
Yeah, postural therapy is just, it's for everyone.
How
It's
about this knee
training
pain
for
here?
anyone.
Levi, go down, please. How about this one? Knee and hip pain gone.
Yeah, I can play that.
Body wise, I would say I used to have a lot of body aches. So everything from, hip pain, knee pain, and achiness, upper back pain, just overall. I think just because I'm sitting all day, but then I'm the other extreme where I'm standing all day at the restaurant. So my body's like, what are you doing? And with the postural therapy, I notice that when I'm really consistent with it, I don't even notice like what's knee pain. I don't have knee pain
Right.
when I'm doing it
When
consistently.
they're doing this, right.
Because when you fall off for a couple of days and you're like, wait a minute,
You feel it.
you feel it. But when you're consistent, it really makes a difference. And you might have seen some posture photos that I've taken, but my feet used to be like duck feet, like they'd stick out.
Mm-hmm.
And I would walk that way. And since being on the program, my feet have come more in, walking straighter. My shoulders are going back more. My alignment's better. And just everything, I think because of that, everything is like flowing and flushing out of my system as it should.
Yeah.
I should say my feet were duck feet too. They're not anymore. I'm not doing the hardcore therapy anymore, but I keep up with the basic exercises every day and most days. And yeah, it's made a huge difference. I used to wear my shoes down on one side and not the other. It literally ruined my shoes. So I couldn't walk straight even if I wanted to because one side of my shoes were worn down. And now I'm walking straight. My shoes are fine. I had to throw one pair of shoes out because they were worn down on one side.
Yeah, and that's something we tell people. Look at the bottom of your shoes. It tells a story.
That used to be a big problem when I was a kid. Hey, my mom would be like, I just bought you shoes like 3 months ago and I've ruined them.
Yeah. Now, this is one of your favorite topics here, stigmatism.
Mm-hmm.
Want to press play on that, Levi?
Stigmatism gone, it says. Gone. I've said that if you're born with it, you're probably not going to get rid of it unless you do muscle exercises. So I'm excited. Let's hear it.
What'd you tell the eye doctor?
Well, I was more asking questions to her why. I've always just had it, but I've had a stigmatism in my left eye. And I've had a prescription that would, make that stigmatism not blurry, just getting worse. It has to be getting worse. So when she told me that my prescription had changed, I said, okay, so, what happened? She said, well, your stigmatism is getting better. I go, what do you mean by that? So explain that to me. It's because, what do you mean it's getting better?
Yeah.
She said, it's not the way it used to be, and it's 3 times better, so that she had to change my prescription up to 3 times better than what it was. So I was like so blurry because my eye was better and it was trying to look through blurry. It was trying to look through old, that where it was when it was not better. It was like crazy. But that's what it was doing. It was, my eyes were blurry, but I couldn't figure out why they were blurry. Well, because my eyes are getting better. Oh, well. She goes, what do you do? And I said, well, so I did tell her. So what do you do? And I said, well, I take a lot of supplements and I'm in a program.
Yeah, you're hanging around a charlatan with a rabbit.
That's right. Well, my other when my gastric bypass started, she goes, wow, your blood test lit up like a Christmas tree. What are you doing? Did you find the fountain of youth? I said, yes. Yes, I did. Thank you. Yes, I have. So that's how I see this program is my fountain of youth.
Yeah, so that's Linda. She's 72 years old.
This is amazing stuff, guys. So actually, I never even thought about this with myself. I have an astigmatism. I've had it my whole life. I've also a little bit nearsighted, a little bit farsighted. My eyes are pretty junk. But as you were playing that, you probably saw me. I took my glasses off and I was holding my hand in front of me, and I'm like, oh wow, my astigmatism has actually gotten better, and I didn't even realize it.
There you go. See?
My double vision used to be huge, huge, huge. And I did the exercises when I was a kid. I probably should have done them more. But yeah, I'm just realizing that I actually have to kind of strain to pull the images apart now, because that's one of the main problems with astigmatism. One eye's stronger than the other eye, right? So it
Right.
pulls images apart and you get double vision. But yeah, I have to actually kind of now force it. It's still there a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's still there a little bit, but I just realized, it's like the frog boiling, right? You don't notice it until it's boiled. Wow, it's actually gotten a heck of a lot better. It's almost completely gone, and I have to put in some effort now to pull the images apart.
There you
Weird.
go. There you go. And if a 72-year-old woman can do it, we can definitely do it.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's from posture therapy and nutrition and everything?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Keep
Now,
going, Levi.
do you remember off the top of your head what her posture problem was? What her P raise looked like?
I don't remember now.
I'd be interested. But she had bad posture.
Oh, everyone does. Everyone does. This woman's remarkable. Frozen shoulder and depression gone.
Right.
Yeah, look at that. I could do the matrix now.
I just want everyone to know that she couldn't lift her arms up, what, 3 months ago?
I couldn't move my right arm at all.
Yeah.
And now I can. I'm very blessed to have come across all your paths and keep my coach Keisha. She's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Good. Good. I wanted to bring you on at this moment so that someone like Susie can see where she's gonna be in a few months, because you were what we like to call a hot mess.
That's what I call me.
I'm still a hot mess. Like, don't take that away from me.
Oh, you're warm now. You're warm. You went from hot to warm.
I
Yeah.
hadn't moved my arm since last May. And so I
Wow.
was, I couldn't do a lot of exercises. So I was immobile. And I think I know I had depression, and then, got off the 4-4 and with the nutrition supplements, like I have my energy back. I started bike riding 8 miles a day last week. It's just been a total reverse. And now it's just like, I don't want nothing interfering with my natural being. I don't want anything interfering with that. And the supplements just let me feel what it is just to be and be present and just have all my nutrition, and I'm like so happy. So
Okay. Good. Good. Well, I tell your story all the time that you couldn't wash your hair, and then you finally could wash your hair.
thank you, Dr. Reese.
Thank you.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
in that clip, she mentioned the poor four
Yeah.
foods. Some
Yep.
people get a little bit confused about this. They ask me, they say, hey, why is Dr. Reese talking about the poor four?
Yeah.
Why is Dr. Glidden talking about the 12 bad foods?
Yeah.
And why are you, Ryan? You're not even mentioning any of this. I've gone into the Wallach mode and I just, rattle off the foods. But you've got it into a nice 4 simple categories. What
Yeah,
are
we
they?
got it into gluten, oil, fried, and fake, and we even have a song now that we're releasing, a little jingle. So
Do you have a preview of that?
yeah, I'm sure Levi could bring it up.
Gluten, oil, fried, and fake. That's
Glu-
easy to remember.
Yeah, and it's working, dude. We got people all across the world, Ryan, checking in with us like, I got off these 4 foods and this went away, that went away. This
Let's hear this jingle.
Gluten, oils, fried and fake. If you eat these foods, it's a great mistake. Avoid them when you're at your store. These are the foods we call the poor four.
It's the poor four, yeah, the poor four. It's the poor four, yeah, the poor four. It's the poor four, yeah, the poor four. It's the poor four. Take them off your menu.
There's two other verses too.
Whose voice is that?
So these are actors and singers I have from my Sunlight Sunny children's franchise. And so, yeah, that's Franny and Fred. Farmers.
Well, it's good. Kids got to know this stuff, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to get political, but you see the stuff they're putting in kids' books these days.
Yeah.
They need something that's actually going to help them.
Yeah, man. And
Not like, hey, you can choose to be an elephant if you want. That's not going to help you in life.
And in my cookbook, you know, again, you and Chef Norman inspiring me. It's called Dinner with Dr. Reese, and the subtitle is 100 Recipes Without the Poor Four Food. So it's like yours, cooking without the bad food.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the inspiration came from. But yeah, as a teacher, I just wanted to simplify it. And to me, gluten, oil, fried, and fake will get the job done. If somebody has the sea monster or something like that, then we can go a little further and say, you know, watch out for the peanuts and watch out for the potato skins and all that. But generally speaking, gluten, oil, fried, and fake does the trick.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times gluten does a trick on its own.
Yeah.
But thankfully, a lot of people are catching on to the oil thing as well. That's becoming a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, man.
I like that. Levi, let's see another one. These are awesome. Usually I have to wait quite a while to get
Keep going up.
to be able to talk about a testimonial too.
Look at this body change. Look at this body change.
One of our clients, Christine, has graduated the 120. She's down 30 pounds. She feels good about her relationship with food, so that's good. And her legs have changed a lot. She says they're beautiful now, supposedly, and she can see her knees. So yay.
Nice. Is she here?
Hi.
Hi, Christine. How do you feel about all the changes that you went through?
Amazing. I mean, I wish I could tell everybody. I mean, I've told people, but I just don't think they believe. I mean, people are not there yet. A lot of people are just not there yet. The posture, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, your photos. I mean, you're like you're getting cut up.
I know, and I'm not even like at the gym. It's in my bedroom on a box.
You're getting abs.
I know.
It's amazing. I mean, the first thing that jumps out is you toned up. I mean, look at this. You are slim and trim. I mean, look at your belly alone. Like, your belly button not only is more pronounced coming out on this little gut area, but it's pointing to the left. Not here. Not here. Look at that. You got abs coming in. I mean, come on. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Your legs look straighter.
Way
Legs
straighter.
definitely look straighter. Shoulders look more level. Still more work to go. Yeah, look at this. Look how much trimmer you are. I can see your spine. Awesome. Now look at this. April 16th, your hands are hiding in front of your thighs. Now they're out here. That means your shoulders are not pinned forward anymore. Oh my gosh, look at that difference. Look at that. It's so on point. Like your hip is on point on the left side, your shoulder, and your ear. And look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You got a flat back, right? You got a curve. Now you got your curve. Look at that. You got your S curve. Look at this with the gut. Look at this. Yeah.
So that was huge. For the audio people too. Her arms were, as you said, flexed forward, but they were also on an angle. They weren't even straight up and down.
Yeah.
And her back was straight before, which is actually a problem. Like in her lower back, she had a straight line there, but now she's got a proper curve.
Right.
How does that happen? How do you get that straight lower back?
Just the postural therapy. You mean how do you get the flat back to begin with?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's the pelvis going postural. Sorry. Posterior. I don't know if you can see this behind me, but it would be coming down in the back. When the pelvis gets pulled down in the back, that
Pelvis
flattens the back.
it gets pulled down. What do you mean?
Yeah, the pelvis gets pulled down in the back, where the butt is,
Okay.
and that straightens the vertebrae. And then if the pelvis comes back to neutral, then the curve comes back.
Does that cause lower back pain?
It can, yes. Not to mention sciatica and C-section surgeries, endometriosis, PCOS.
What do you mean C-section surgery?
Well, when that happens, the womb moves. So the medical monopoly can't get the baby out like they need to. So they have to do surgery because it's not lined up.
You hear them blaming that cervical flexion. You hear them blaming that for endometriosis. You're saying they just go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand. It just manifests different in every body. So someone might have PCOS, someone might have endometriosis, some woman might have neither and just needed a C-section surgery. But when you have a posterior pelvic tilt, the womb moves. All right. If the womb was, I'm going to use my cup as an example. If the womb is supposed to be like this, and then all of a sudden it moves like that, just that 1 or 2 inches changes the birth.
So that might make it a more dangerous birth where now they're like, hey, we got to do a C-section because the baby might get stuck.
That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
These people, did any of them start off their posture problem with an injury? Or this is all just normal bad posture?
It's all normal bad posture.
You get people with injuries?
Every now and again. Every now and again. But it's mostly just people all messed up. Their knees hurt. Their hip hurts. They got sciatica, We got someone with sciatica now, and so, he's in a lot of pain. We're just pumping him full of calcium and magnesium and, doing these exercises, and I'm confident that it will release. Sciaticas are a weird one. It could take 2 days to release. It could take 2 years. It's just a crazy little condition there.
True. Yeah, I agree. I've seen it fast. I've seen it slow. Yep.
Yeah. Whereas type 2 diabetes can just go away like that.
Coach Tamara was in one of those videos too, and she's looking great. She's looking super healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, she is.
Big difference from a couple of years ago. I'm not saying she looked bad before, but
I rescued her in the gutter. She was a vegan for 17 years.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Maybe that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, she needed fat and cholesterol real bad.
No, right.
I wanted to take it back for the injuries. Right now, we do have someone going through the 120 program, and this guy actually had psoriasis, like pretty, on his forehead and stuff, but it's one of our testimonials right now. His skin is like completely clear.
From nutrition and posture, of course, right?
Yeah.
From Australia, Mitch, I think he's talking about.
Yeah.
You probably get the gist by now, Ryan, that a lot of our testimonials are coming from Zoom meetings. and we're just facilitating a community. So if I'm going around the room and I'm, a coach gives me an update. So before I even come on, I get an update that says, "Hey, Mitch's psoriasis is gone." So now I can be like, "Mitch, I hear your psoriasis is gone. What's going on here?" And then he talks and we have a conversation, and that's all recorded. So that's one of the reasons how we're catching so much on video right now.
Yeah, I think it's really, really great. So I wanted to bring something up here. Sometimes people don't even realize how far they've come. So I was on a call with a woman this week, and I had spoken to her probably a month ago, maybe 3 to 5 weeks ago or something like that. And she had a whole bunch of different problems. She's still struggling to get her last bit of weight off. That's why I put her on iodine, high dose of iodine, and I'm hoping that's gonna actually get rid of the last bit of weight. But as we were going through her case, I'm like, "Hey, so do you still have this problem that we spoke about last time? I wrote them all down. You still have this problem? Oh no, actually, that's a lot better. Oh no, actually, I actually even forgot I had that. Oh no. Everything was better except for a little bit of stubborn weight."
Yeah.
And I had to remind her, like, you realize how far you've come, right? This is great. This is fantastic progress.
Yeah.
And she's kind of zeroing in on the weight, but at the same time, she's also like, yeah, but my body kind of feels like it's reshaping too at the same time.
Yeah.
So pounds might not always be the best way to measure the progress, but every other thing that she was complaining about is no longer a thing in in whatever it was, 3 to 5 weeks. Let's call it 5 weeks. That's fantastic. But in this business, something that I haven't done, I should do. There's a checklist form that people can rate their problems on scale of 1 to 10. And, how's your pain here, digestion, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I've neglected that form, but I'm thinking of implementing it full time because people often forget, like, hey, you rated your pain a 9 like 2 months ago. Now you're at a 2, right? But as humans, we focus in on the negative, right? So if you're perfectly fine, but you get a headache, I mean, that can like take over everything, take over all your thoughts. Same with a stomach ache, or you get a sore knee. Now that's everything. But we tend to forget that, oh yeah, I used to actually have this problem and this problem and this problem and this problem and this problem. And most of them are better. I'm at a 1 here and a 3 here, but I was at 8 and 9 and everything else. Just saying, a lot of people actually forget how far they've come in even such a short period of time, but especially over the course of 6 months or something. Things start to get better gradually, and you tend to forget how bad it was.
Yeah, and that's why one of the reasons why we do the discovery analysis. We also have a form, and I have the coaches updated every 60 days.
Good habits.
Yeah, man.
Because we take it for granted. We can take healing for granted. We can take healing for granted as well too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Levi, you got another one?
Yeah, I know it's getting a bit repetitive, but this is fun and this is informative, and it's good that it's repetitive. It should be repetitive. Start with problem, end with no problem. That's what we like to see. But these stories are great.
Oh, look at this scoliosis.
Big
Oh, yeah,
one.
she's a good one.
Last week I talked with Susie, and Susie, I don't know, Susie, you kind of made it sound like you didn't know if things were going well, but I looked at your photos and you're straight.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that because it gave me a lift. I mean, I was shocked. I really was, because it was clear to me that something had gotten better. I was straighter.
Way straighter. Like,
yeah.
Do you mind if I show everyone your photos?
No, I don't mind.
Okay, hold on.
Everyone
This is a
see this?
7-year-old woman.
How beautiful.
Could you pause for a sec?
From May.
So in her first photo, she's fully leaning forward and to the left, like big.
Yeah.
This is not straight at all. And when you take these P-rays, these posture photos, you tell people to try and stand as straight as possible.
So, no, I tell them to stand natural.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if that's natural, that's bad. I mean, her left foot is kind of like, looks like it's shy. It's kind of hanging out in the back. Her feet are sort of duck feet there as well. The knees are not aligned at all. The shoulders are not aligned at all. One's forward, one's backward. Her hands are hiding behind her. And yeah, that spine is, you could tell it's crooked from the front.
Yeah, man. And she's a great example of what we were just talking about. She didn't know how much she was healing. And she was down on herself. 70-year-old woman.
Let's keep playing it.
To August, look how crooked she is.
Yeah.
And look how straight she is.
That's
Now
huge.
let's look at the back. Look at this.
Wow.
That is amazing. I have to say.
Look at that.
Mm,
And
yeah.
You're totally being pulled to the left.
Yes. Yes.
And I think you're starting to get some abs too.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. Oh God.
Yeah. So, you're making progress. I mean, look, you're straightening out. If that can happen,
I know.
emotional.
I know. It makes me optimistic. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, your little call to me made a big difference. Yeah, it did.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Okay. Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's a big wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
And Kevin, you even told me I had a hint of scoliosis. I never included that in my description of myself. I was born with dislocated hips. If not anyone knows, I grew up with pain. It wasn't because of the hips. I guess they put me in 2 or 3 diapers when I was a kid to try and keep the hips into place. And
Wow.
they did. The hips didn't slip out again, but I grew up in pain. I still had the musculoskeletal issues all the way until my 26th birthday. And the nutrition fixed the pain, fixed the cramps, fixed the twitching, fixed a lot of things, changing my life and quickly.
Yeah.
But my spine was still crooked when I sent you my P rays, because nutrition by itself will not straighten your spine out.
No. But it'll give you this is why I combine everything, because it'll give you the elasticity, for a lack of a better word, so that the posture therapy can move things around.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this one, TMJ. This woman was in bad shape here. And she's a coach with us.
When
now.
I first contacted you, I was actually kind of reflecting on conversations and my notes that I've been taking throughout this process. That was one of the main reasons why I contacted you in the beginning, back in December.
Yeah.
Was TMJ. And I don't even know if I really had it. You always talk about the medical monopoly. I think the dental monopoly is just the same, because I got in the chair and then they told me I had one problem, and then I visited somebody else and they told me I had another problem, and then it escalated where I had TMJ, and then all of a sudden they're fitting me for this really expensive $4,000 appliance that I bought, and then it changed my jaw. And once I found you, I was really excited, because they were trying to convince me to do this protocol that was going to be $14,000.
Whoa.
And that wasn't even going to take care of all of my issues. I ended up ditching the appliance that I bought after wearing it for a few months, and then found you and started doing the protocols, and my jaw went back into the place it was supposed to be, and my pain went away. I don't have my neck pain, my shoulder pain.
So the migraines are gone.
The migraines are gone. The upper back pain's gone. The neck pain's gone. The jaw pain's gone too.
In 120 days.
Yeah, actually today's 122.
There you go. That's awesome.
And it went by so fast. So
Yeah.
fast. I wasn't even counting the days. If I didn't look at my little chart to know what day it was, it didn't matter, because I knew I was making progress.
Yeah. And she's a coach with us now too, Coach Karen.
That's a big one too. Migraines can completely ruin your life if you get them all the time.
Speaking of that,
do another one.
Griselle is powerful, man.
I used to suffer from migraines. I suffered from that 14 years. It stopped me from going to work, my daily activity, and that's gone away. Pressure, a lot of pain in my right eye, my right side, and I would have to cover my eye. isolate myself into a dark room, very quiet, and I used to feel the weather coming. Literally, I used to feel the weather coming and tell people there's a storm coming, everybody hush, hush, be quiet. Now I don't even get that. Now, when the rain comes down, there's thundering, everything, I'm like, let it rain. Yeah, I'm back to when I was in high school. Even my neck thin out, I lost weight, but that's a bonus. The weight loss is a bonus of healing because I was so swollen from all the prednisone, a lot of medication. I could say your name on all because I used to pick them up every monthly at CVS. Now they're not gonna see my face. So they just lost a customer.
She went from 15 meds to 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
These are great, man.
Yeah. But here, you want to know something interesting? We post these on social media at least twice a week, and they hardly get any likes. They hardly get any comments. It's only when I talk about cholesterol or the medical monopoly that I go quote unquote viral. But nobody's sharing these.
It's interesting, hey? You know, people say testimonials are kind of boring, but like we do all this work.
Yep.
We put out all this information. It's controversial information. We get all this flack for putting out the information.
Yeah.
People who actually listen to it and actually do it, you get these kind of results, and you show these results, and almost no one cares.
Yep.
It's crazy. And a lot of these people go back to their doctor and they say, hey, doc, you know, remember that thing you've been treating me for 12 years and I haven't seen you in about a year? Well, this is why. And the doctor says, oh, that's good. Keep doing it.
Keep doing what you're doing. That's the famous line.
Yeah, and they don't even question what did you do? Who helped you with that? What do you mean supplements? What can I take a look at them? What kind of doses have you been taking?
Nope.
What do you mean posture? What does posture have to do about this? Not interested in learning.
Nope.
I'm not saying all doctors. I'm saying I have yet to encounter a doctor who one of our people went back to them and they were like, "What? Can I contact them? What do they do? I've been dealing with your diabetes for 12 years, and what do you mean in a month and a half it was your A1C was down to normal?" And no doctor has ever contacted me for that.
Yeah. I do get a lot of doctors contacting me. It's split. Some of them are very angry with me. And I'm not talking about doctors from the clients, but just in general on social media. But we're getting a lot of doctors now that want to learn. I'm getting doctors slipping into the DM saying, hey, I want to learn this head to toe healing stuff. So, you know, really looking forward to this academy when the time comes.
Let me tell you guys a tragic story.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiled it because I already told you it's tragic. So I got an email on a Saturday night. Didn't answer it because I try and do other things on the weekend. You know, before we got on recording here, we joked about, yeah, there's no days off in this business. It's a Sunday right now. We're all here doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But on Saturday, Sunday, I like is a weird word. I have to do editing and stuff that, you know, you can't do during the week. So I just try and ignore the emails unless it's urgent. In this case, it said urgent, but I still didn't catch it. People are off on Saturday, Sunday, so I'll get 60 emails on Saturday, you know. It's nuts. I have to ignore it. As Levi mentioned and we talked about earlier, you need to take care of your own mental health as well. Even if I still have to work on the weekend, I have to take those days off from, you know, doing protocols and stuff like that. But if I do see an urgent email, I will answer it. In this case, I didn't see it. It was like Saturday night, you know, I just didn't see it. So I finally got around to answering it Monday when I was going through the emails. And in the email, it said, you know, this is my sister or whatever. She's in the hospital with congestive heart failure. And her doctors have said, okay, we're willing to do something else now. Basically, her doctors gave them permission to reach out to the vitamin guy, right, to me. And the problem was these doctors waited until it was way too late because she died that night. She died that Saturday night. Mm-hmm. And they had her on 14 drugs. I think, to my memory, is 14 drugs. And a couple of other things that are not really drugs, but, you know, like potassium or whatever. So they had her on 14 drugs. She wasn't getting any better. In fact, she was getting worse. But they waited until she was literally on the brink of death to say, oh, it's okay. Now we can reach out to the vitamin guy and see what he says. And of course, I call Wallach, you know, I get a whole protocol ready. We're going to throw the kitchen sink at them because this is life or death. But no, you guys waited until it's way too long.
She needed B1.
She needed, yeah, a little bit of everything, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I same situation here, man. I know someone in the hospital literally right now. Congestive heart failure. Check the B1, check the B1, check the B1. They don't check the B1, it's criminal.
I'm throwing CoQ10 in my congestive protocol now, by the way.
Okay.
And if you guys didn't know, we have thousands of products, by the way. I don't expect anybody to memorize the catalog. I still come across new products that we've got like, oh, I forgot about that one, or oh, I didn't even know about that one. Oh, they came out with another new one. We have so many products, but we have this one. It's made by the Integris company. It's in our catalog, and it's called CoQ10. It also has extra vitamin E in it. So to me, especially in those emergency cases, heart failure, congestive heart failure, I'm now adding the Integris CoQ10. Obviously, of course, the selenium as well. And I do believe Dr. Wallach, yeah, he gave the full boat brain and heart pack plus de-stress for the extra B1, of course. We do got a decent dose, a good dose actually of B1 in our regular products. But yeah, if you're on your deathbed with congestive heart failure, we want to throw in some extra here. And yeah, I'm just telling you guys, I'm adding CoQ10 to that protocol.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that because I've had a lot of people die as well through my career, and not clients, just people that reach out for help, but they don't pull the trigger, you know, they don't exchange the money, they don't do the contract, they don't take the step forward. And yeah, I ran into someone on my Facebook Messenger from 2014 who was no longer with us. And I was just glancing through the conversation. I'm like, man, oh my gosh, you know, it's just another person detoxing their brains out. So I come across a lot of people who, because I used to be in that field, as you know, people just detoxing their brains out and losing nutrition as they do it.
It's probably the hardest thing in this business. It's happened to me. I can't count how many times now, dozens, maybe close to 100 times, where the person waited too long, got too bad, and they die before the products arrive. Like, yeah, some of them do say, okay, yeah, I'm ready to go. All right, let's do this. Last year, I think, maybe the year before, talked to this man, had a nice long conversation with him. He was like an 81-year-old man. He was so excited to get started. He died that night, you know? And so it's like, obviously for most of you guys who are listening, most of the people listening are like my age and younger, and mostly men, you know, young men, which is amazing that you guys are paying attention to this type of thing now, so that never ever happens to you. You never ever let it get so bad. Congestive heart failure doesn't happen overnight. This takes 10, 20, 30 years to really, really catch up with you. And by that point, yeah, you are on 14 drugs. I don't know how many drugs she was on a regular basis, but whatever, when she was in the hospital, she was on 14 drugs. But in her regular life, she probably was on 6, 7, 8 drugs. And clearly they weren't working. See this all the time. People on 3, 4 different blood pressure drugs. And I got to sit there and say, clearly the drug's not working, right? If the first one worked, they wouldn't have put you on the second one. If they both worked, they wouldn't put you on the third and the fourth. You know, you're on 3 different blood sugar drugs, etc. You will never let it get this bad if you just do the basics, the bare minimum. You will never, ever end up in a hospital with congestive heart failure like that. Because, yeah, you know, man dies that night. He said, yes, he gave the credit card. Let's do it. Let's get the products. Just dies before the products arrived. Would the products have saved his life? I don't know. Probably not, to be honest. You're already at the end. This has also happened several times, too. Again, they're in the hospital on their deathbed. And at that point, honestly, it doesn't even matter if the products arrive. It's just, it might work. It might. There's miracles. They happen, but don't let it get this bad. My gosh.
Right.
And yeah, we do see this all the time too, though, where people wait, you know, even people that, oh, I've been bugging my grandma to do this, but she had to wait until she got into the hospital to finally say, okay, I'm ready to do it. That's too late. Don't wait that long. And this is what makes our job harder too. You know, especially when they're excited to do it. This is what it breaks hearts. It makes people leave this business too, because you put it all into this person. You know, I've now that they're educated and all this stuff, you know, we rapidly educated them in a couple of days, or even in 1-2 hour long phone call. They're finally ready to go. You waited way too long. They die that night. Or yeah, they die before we can answer the email or something like that. It's happened lots and lots of times. Very,
Yeah.
very tough to deal with.
Yep.
It's happened to me too. Working with Kevin here, it's working the messages, and you give someone the advice to start reading the Peace Over Pain book, but then it was a mother, and her son came back to on her account messaging me like, I don't know if this was important at all, but she passed away, and so I responded to that. But no, it's a dangerous world, especially dealing with the medical monopoly.
Yeah.
So we talked about in a couple of other episodes, Dr. Reese, that you kind of started in detox. Now, when you said you took some of your books off the shelf, does that include your detox book?
I don't remember. I think so. I think I paused it on Audible. It might be still available on Amazon though.
Tell us about this. We don't necessarily need to know how you got into detox, but how did you get out of it?
I got out of it because I just realized I had this epiphany that nutrition was more important. And that it's the raw materials that make everything up. So what's the point in cleaning if the raw materials aren't there? So it was just an epiphany. And I also was just getting in touch with my primal programming and realizing that I did want to eat meat. I did want to eat eggs. It was natural, and those two things kind of came together and got me out. And then, I've seen so many people die too, get hurt, and some people are switching over. And when that many people are switching over, you gotta question it. I mean, you gotta.
What do you mean? Who died? People who were like, they were trying to detox and it didn't work, like it didn't fix their problem and they just still died?
Yeah, I have colleagues that died. They were just detoxing for like 7, 8 years straight. And then one day you just hear that they're not here anymore. So many. When I say so many, I'm being a little dramatic, a handful. But, when you're dealing with death and it's not war and people are getting blown up, then that's a bit,
Mm-hmm.
You get 10 or so people that die doing something that you're doing too. And just seeing how people become obsessed with it. It's very much like being bulimic or something like that.
I do have one comment here.
Mm.
So in 10 years, I'm coming up in 10 years. Really, I've been taking this seriously more for like 9 years, but okay, 10 years. I've never seen one case until now. Never seen one case where detox was the thing that fixed them. Detox or toxins were the thing that was holding them back.
Right.
Finally have one case where it looks like evidently she did have heavy metal toxicity. And that's something you could pretty easily find out with blood tests, hair analysis. And there's different ways to get out heavy metals. You could do IV chelation. I just want to tell you guys this story just in the audience here. So she was on the 90, I don't remember what I started on, probably something like the women's pack, which is the 90 plus sweeties plus thyroid support. I could bring up her file here, but just off the top of my head, she was doing the 90 for several months. This wasn't working. She had scleroderma. So tight skin, painful joint, painful everything. She's just kind of miserable, not sleeping correctly, stubborn weight that's not coming off. And she thought that it was because of one of the metal detox products that she was actually using. And you said overdoing it. She was overdoing it. She's the type of person that if one serving is good, I'm going to do 10 servings. So she felt that because she overdid that product, she got heavy metals from that. Now, I don't know where she got the heavy metals from. Could have been from her job, chemicals. I don't know. And I don't care. Point is, she had this toxicity. So last year, I decided to go in and make sure that there's nobody who didn't get their result. And I started just saying it all the time online. Anyone who hasn't gotten their result, I want you to email me. We're going to get on Zoom. We're going to take your case from the top. We're going to figure this out. I didn't do that before. You get caught up in the literally thousands of people that come to us. It's tough. I've had to put a lot of extra time into these few people, because most people do get a good result. And you never hear from them again. You just see they keep ordering. One day they contact you and they're like, "Hey, you help me. Could you help my mom?" And I don't even remember them because they were 5 years ago, but they were just good. They've been good the whole time. That's part of the paradox of this business. The people who are doing well, you usually just don't hear from them, where you guys are going in and structuring that so that you make sure that you hear from them. So a lot of stuff goes past me, and you don't find out until later that, oh yeah, no, you totally changed my life, man. Yeah, that one piece of advice you gave me 6 years ago, no, it's been all good since. Anyways, so I've been trying to clear off the table of anyone who didn't get the result. One woman contacts me. So one of the things I decided to do is high doses of vitamin C. I was playing around with that last year. I still am today. Mega doses. Let's throw some mega doses in, see what happens if the regular 90 didn't work. Felt good for a little bit, then felt worse. Basically back to normal, maybe even a little bit worse. That gave me the clue that it was pulling something out. It was chelating with something, maybe mercury, maybe lead, maybe I don't know, cadmium, who knows. But she got a little bit better, then got worse. And we kept doing the vitamin C, but she never got back up to being good. So I finally said, okay, let's do a liver flush. We did our standard 30-day liver flush program. And I also, for the very first time, maybe you know a little bit about this, Dr. Reese, because I always dismissed coffee enemas. People would ask about coffee enemas. I'd say, yeah, well, enema cleans out your rectum. That's fine, but it doesn't really matter. You know, I would say, well, you need to do colon hydrotherapy to get all the way into the colon and clean the colon. I didn't understand the concept of coffee enema. I probably should have just looked it up. But apparently it flushes the liver. It forces the liver to flush. So she did our one normal 30-day detox. And I also told her at the same time, once she said that made her feel better. But again, a little bit better. And then kind of back, you know, it didn't do the whole job. So I said, okay, start doing coffee enemas and, you know, do some research online. They'll give you some guidance on how often to do them and stuff. And it looks like at this point, she's in the clear. It looks like she's on the other side of the hill, has a little bit left to go, you know, lose that extra stubborn body weight and whatever, but she says she's sleeping well. She's overall doing well. And she just checked in with me last week, and I didn't have anything else to add to her regimen. Just got her on the regular regimen now, and I think she's just going to keep doing better and better. So I just wanted to bring that up, just saying that out of thousands of people, I only have one for sure case that detox actually did help them. I think I might have one more of those tough cases, a guy with a skin problem. Once again, nothing really worked, not eating the bad foods, all that stuff. It might be him as well, but I'm just saying this is a very, very rare thing. And once it's done, it's done. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I probably detoxed enough to last me a lifetime, personally. I've gotten huge results from helping people detox. But in retrospect, I realize now that I was just getting them off the poor four foods. And so it's just kind of funny to me. So what was it, the fruit? Was it the herbs? Was it the fasting? Or was it just not eating these four foods? Because when you detox someone, they're not eating those four foods.
I have a feeling that's the backbone of most diet results.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I went vegan. Oh, I went carnivore. Oh, I went keto. Well, if you make those types of serious diet changes, probably the main benefit is that you just stop eating processed food, to be honest.
Right. Right. And, you know, I've done so much detoxing, man. I've done 7 days on grapes. I've done 10 days on melons. I've done 100 days on juice. I've done numerous 30-day juice fasts.
100 days on juice. Did I miss that? 100 days.
100 days on juice.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How'd you feel at the end of that?
Oh, I felt great. I felt great. But, you know, and if you look at the old pictures of me, you'll see my weight fluctuating too. Because I would go down in weight. I'd come down to like 165 pounds. And then I'd start eating again. And next thing you know, I'm back up to 200. It's like, I was doing health seminars 10 years ago, looking a little chunky because I'm, about to go into detox mode. And it was like this thing, this yo-yo type thing happening.
That's not healthy.
No, no. And now I maintain my weight by just, having the 90 essential nutrients every day, making sure I'm stocked up, topped off on nutrition, and then eating, 2, sometimes 3 meals. That's it. No up and down weight gains at all.
I hardly change at all. And I've been trying to work out a little bit more, gain some muscle.
Yeah.
And so I feel myself gaining muscle, but it's like I can eat as much or fast as much as I want. Sometimes I go days without eating, especially on the road, or I can just eat 2, 3 meals a day. It just doesn't seem to matter. It doesn't change my weight at all. I know a lot of people would love for that to be the case, and it can be the case. If you're healthy, your body will do that for you.
Yeah.
It'll be the weight it wants to be.
Just get your 90.
Levi, you got any comments here?
I did do a fast once, and I've done a detox. I've done like a parasite cleanse, but the parasite cleanse doesn't. I don't think it really did anything. It just kind of made me more dehydrated for about a week.
I have a whole chapter of parasites in the Reverse the Cause, and I talk about parasites all the time, Ryan. It's paranoia, is what it is. It's paranoia.
Well, you
Anyway,
see
go
those pictures, they're pulling worms out of people. And
Oh, I've seen worms, dude. I've done I've done colonics and seen worms come out. No doubt. But it all comes down to stomach acid. If you got the stomach acid, you're not going to have parasites. Same thing with fungus.
Like I've done the parasite cleanses, but the fast. I did a fast when I was in high school, and this isn't that far away. I mean, like 4 years, maybe 5 years.
Young man, rumble, young man, rumble.
But I did a complete water fast. In high school I was vaping actually, but that was like the only thing I was consuming other than water. And I just had like such a wake up moment, I guess. Just like, no pour for foods at all. Just water. Clean my system out. I had such a boosted mood. My friends would say that I was like a completely different person. I was just like, a manic high. Anything that was negative was just like it wouldn't affect me at all.
Right. And I'd also like to say that when you go without food and you realize, holy crap, I'm surviving without food, there's also something that happens mentally there. There's some chemical reactions happening in your body that are making you proud. It's giving you a realization about the human body, and it's kind of like a cool factor. It's like, a different version of being on mushrooms or something. It's just like, oh my gosh, I
You
haven't
feel so
eaten.
light.
Yeah, yeah. You're floating, man. You're floating. It's the same thing with fruit. You get on all fruit, same deal. My old teacher did 6 months on oranges. He claims he couldn't even stay in his body.
Jeez.
You want to talk about trippy? He claims he could not stay in his body. Now, some people have different beliefs, so they can take that how they want, but that is his exact words. I couldn't stay in my body. I had to go back to regular food because I was so light, so clean.
Wow.
A lot of this detox stuff is like a bridge to breatharianism. And that's a whole other topic for a whole other day, for a whole other podcast.
Okay. Before we go, Levi, what's your day like in this Peace Over Pain clinic? You're working mostly media. You're working with clients themselves too.
So Kevin here calls me operations coordinator. If I was talking to anyone else, it's, head coach Levi, but operations is pretty much everything behind the scenes. I'm connected to the client side, you know, any question about products, helping out with that, because I know a lot of that from you. And I also help with the multimedia. I'm the main guy that posts on Rumble, makes all the Rumble content. Me and Dr. Reese here do that together. But I have a hand in just pretty much everything that goes on, and helping LaShawn adapt. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Levi is like, he's like the bridge from the front end to the back end, Everything goes through Levi. And then Sean is at the front doing admissions. So everyone that ends up being a client, they all come through Sean, who's also a head coach. And then once they become a client, we have coaches who work remotely. They're not here. And then they take care of them.
Yeah. In the beginning, the roles were kind of reversed. I was doing what Sean's doing right now, and Sean was starting to get into media, but we found out like the roles are just so much better. Me behind the scenes, Sean in front of everyone. And it's working very well. Like, Sean loves what he does. I love what I do. And this is just, it's a machine over here. We've made so much progress ever since I've been here. I mean, I remember before I was here, like it was like we'd have to, upload a file, you have to check it. It's such a slow process, but there's also something that happens. It's just magical when everyone's together. And this creation process. I mean, we're in the media business. We help people get healthy, but if nobody knows what we're doing, it's, what's the point?
They got to see the message first.
Yeah. And I was gonna say this earlier, but getting this message of head to toe healing out to the average cold person is probably one of the most difficult things that we've had to do in this business. We got a lot of leads, but they don't understand the philosophy yet. They've heard like the alternative, and I could testify to this myself. I mean, when I was, first getting into what they call alternative health. It's a confusing world, so I hope our message really, settles that for that person. But we can only give some, point them in the right direction, and they got to take the steps.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And we also charge a lot of money. So
you said that before, so
yeah.
you're saying it like you're proud of it. What's going on here?
Absolutely. $1 million just to get in. No, but when you charge a lot of money, you're stamping your value. You're saying this is our value, and it makes people very serious. The chances of us getting someone that disappears on day 30 is slim to none, because they're coming in. I like to say that if you go to college, if you go to university, it's different if you pay for it yourself or your parents pay for it. If your parents pay for it, you might go in and you slack around, you're partying too much. You're like, whatever. But you go and get a loan, you're paying for it yourself, you're working a second job, you take it so much more serious. And so when we get people coming through our door, they take it very, very, very serious. And that's what we want. I would rather have 25 very serious people in a year than 25, a month, So,
or 250 of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what we do. And when the school comes out, You know, it's not going to be $300. You know, it's going to be just like a school. It's going to have school prices. You know, so
So some people might say that that's actually I don't know what they would say, but some people have said to me, you know, why did they charge for their program? And I said, how do you think they could do it for free? I do it for free, and it's almost killing me to be honest, to be straight up. You know, I'm working over 12-hour days every single day. With the only exception, I get a quote day off is when I'm like on the road, which is not a day off. You know, it's not a day off. I'm trapped. It's a hard day as well. It's just I'm not doing work. But there will come a day where I just can't do it for free anymore.
right.
And that day is almost here, to be honest. I know
Yeah.
Dr. Wallach has been very proud to do it for free himself for many years, but at the same time, he makes a good living just selling his books and his CDs, and he hasn't really had to since his days in an actual clinic. He hasn't had to charge people for their advice. And I'm also very proud that I don't charge people for my advice. But what you just said there, 25 serious people versus 250, that's a lot better. I just got an email right before we jumped on here from a woman that I had given a protocol to in August, last August. This is, I don't know, 8 months ago or 6 months ago. I don't know, even know what day it is today. 6 months ago, I gave her advice. She emails me today and says, hey, Ryan, I've just been diagnosed with MS. What do you think I should do? And I sent back a quick email. Are you still on the program? Oh, no, I never actually did it. So
Yeah.
you're telling me I wasted my time giving you the protocol in the first place,
Yes.
right? And there's been hundreds, probably thousands of people that I've given my advice to that they didn't take it, and you wasted my time.
Frustrating. It's frustrating.
And so there are some people who are, there's lots of people who are extremely grateful, right? They took the advice, they took the program, changed their life. And, you know, obviously I've got to go in and work with the tough cases. They say crap rolls uphill in this business, right? The longer you do this, the more of the tough cases you're dealing with. So I hardly deal with any easy cases anymore. And yes, many of those people are excessively grateful, but for every one person who actually does it, there's probably 10 to 20 who don't, or who don't do it all the way. And it's very, very frustrating, especially when now you come back 6 months later. Now you have a full-blown neurological disease.
Yep.
When I gave you the protocol before that would have fixed your original problem, most likely. And if
Yep.
it didn't, we had 6 months to figure out what was wrong. Now
Yep.
you've got a full-blown neurological disease, and now you want my help.
Yep.
And I don't mean to chew out this one woman. It's just one reflection, one example of many, many, many. I've heard this so many times where they ask question after question after question. We see this in the DM too on Instagram. And I got to be like, again and again, have you started the program? And I'm very polite. I'm too polite. I'm Canadian, you know, but in my mind, I'm yelling. I'm yelling. Why didn't you do this 2 years ago when you asked me the first time? How many times have I told you to do this? So I'm agreeing with you. This is what you get for free, to be honest. A lot of people get extreme value, so much value, and I get paid like, you know, peanuts for the sale on the products. And that's great for them. It's not that great for me because it means I have to deal with tons and tons of people to kind of scrape by here.
Yeah, you should be a millionaire for all the value you've provided people, you know.
And I'm not disagreeing with that, man. This is like we have fully transformed not just lives, but entire families, communities. We have this one town in Ohio. We must have half the town on the program. Honestly, this must be the healthiest town in America. I swear, you know, in the middle of Ohio, middle of nowhere, little farm town. It blows me away. Yeah, so we've changed communities, you know, and yeah, when you do it for free, it's just like you couldn't, is what I'm saying. I agree. You couldn't, and I can't for long either. You know, it's great that Dr.
Wow.
Wallach has been able to be on the radio and do all this stuff for free, but you know, he sells enough books to cover himself, and I don't. So.
Yeah, I know. I mean, just this office space that we have alone is a mortgage, you know. It's a lot, you know. Last year I dropped $200,000, you know. I invested $200,000 into what we do. I spent $200,000. That's more than some people make, you know what I mean? Like this is big boy stuff that we're doing and trying to do. Like we're trying to become the brand. the brand, you know, in, well, it's head to toe healing, so it'll be its own thing, but in the alternative world, so that when someone says, "Hey, I have MS," they don't even bat an eye. Somebody's gonna be like, "You got to go see that fake doctor guy. You got to go to that head to toe healing place. You have to. I'm telling you, read the trilogy, watch the videos. He's live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Go." You know, and so I'm completely committed financially, mentally, spiritually, everything. And obviously, Levi and Sean are because they moved out here, and you know, all this equipment, Ryan. I mean, Levi, I'll tell you, like, we're about to put a monitor up over here to make the studio look better, and it's like, how are we
It's
gonna get it? Levi just emails me, "We need this, we need this, we need this." Now I know how my parents felt when I was like, "I need this, I need these
Yeah.
shoes, and this." And I'm like, "All right, I gotta buy this, this, and this." So I'm just constantly buying things. We're constantly just investing because we believe in what we're doing. And in order to pull this off, yeah, our customers are paying a pretty penny. There's no other way around it. There's no other way around it. But they can buy the books, obviously under $100,
Mhm.
and they can show up for Tuesday. We're live every Tuesday, and they can, every now and again, I do a seminar. I'm doing a seminar on May 4th here. I'm opening up doors. And, you know, we sell some webinars on our website for like $5. Like, there's little stuff that people can do without, you know, throwing down thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But ultimately, you know, if somebody's very serious, they'll do it because we have the testimonials. If we didn't have the testimonials, then okay, I get it. But because I have the testimonials on video, I can stand on that, you know? I can really stand on that and kind of beat my chest like King Kong and say, "Ah, look." Look. I don't have to sell nothing, just look. And if you don't want to look, then you're just putting up blinders. You know? So that's kind of the mindset over here.
We say it all the time. There are many millions of people who can change their lives with the free information that you put out, that I put out, that Wallach has put out over the past 30 plus years. And you and I together, Levi here as well, us as a group here, we have easily doubled or tripled or quadrupled the amount of information that was available, specifically about the Dr. Wallach message, the 90 essential nutrients. If there was some stuff available, you know, Dr. Glidden had some webinars and stuff. Getting harder to find those now. YouTube took a lot of them down or whatever. But yeah, when I was starting, there was material there. Dr. Wallach has a lot of books. There was enough for me to get started and get trained and stuff, but we have blown that out of the water. There is so much information out there. And to be honest, a lot of people don't have to go on a full program. They don't have to contact me or you in order to change their life, especially with the basic stuff. They hear it all the time. You talk about pour four, you talk about gluten, you just get off the gluten and the seed oils. This, and this are going to go away, you know. But for people who are more serious, who have more serious health problems, do it properly. And there will be a day very, very soon where I will not be able to take new people. And I've been weaning them down. Like I said, I'm trying to clear off the hardest cases that there is. And it's been successful. I've gotten a lot of those off of the table. They're no longer tough cases anymore. Case has been solved. Case has been closed. And yeah, I'm not going to be taking on free people for that long. Can't do it. I can't afford to do it. You know, my wife needs a better life. I still drive a 2011 Kia Rio. And it's not about having a luxurious car. It's just like, you know,
just having a new car, having something updated.
Working very hard for not enough, to be honest.
Exactly.
So what is the price of a 120-day program with you guys, if you don't mind?
Well, it's technically a year.
Okay.
But it's 8,200 front door.
That's not bad.
I don't think it's bad.
That's not bad.
That's not including supplements, of course, and postural equipment and food. So
postural equipment's pretty cheap. You're talking about a couple of blocks here and a.
Yeah, well, probably a few hundred, but I think overall, when you add in the whole year, if someone's real committed, they're looking at about 15 grand.
That's not bad at all.
I don't think so.
Anybody who's listening or watching who thinks that's high, you haven't been in this business. You have no idea how much money people have spent on their health already, and they haven't fixed it.
Oh my gosh, one knee replacement is what, like 40 grand?
Yep.
We'll talk about dental. You know, it's a reflection of your overall health. A lot of times dental is not covered by your job insurance or whatever. And guess what's definitely not covered is getting those fillings removed, stuff like that. You know, I've been recommending a clinic that has great deal on stuff, but I've also in that time, now that I've actually been bringing it up more and more and more, and I put it on my questionnaire, do you have any dental work done? And if you have any fillings or root canals, there's been plenty of people who were like, oh yeah, I had lots of fillings, but over the last couple of years, I paid $35,000 or something to get it all removed, not done in the first place, to get it removed, you know, and so there's a lot of money that can be spent. There's a lot of things that you can do in clinics that are beneficial, but that are very, very expensive, to be honest. Things that I would recommend in some situations like stem cells and stuff can be very expensive.
I remember you telling me that you were talking to another alternative doctor. I'm not going to say his name, out in California, about your hips, I believe. And he said 20 grand, right?
I think it was 15 or 20, and that was supposed to be a deal to me.
Yeah.
Friend to friend.
Yeah.
My hat fell off when he said that.
Yeah. No, I think we're giving a heck of a deal. And, you know, the school will probably be a little more. But, you know, I think it's a good deal, especially if you're going to get the results. The way I put it is, this is your best shot. When I talk to someone, I say, this is your best shot. We just talked to someone the other day with ALS, and they're deteriorating. And I just tell the wife, look, this is your best shot. Well, what are your other options? You tell me your other options. This is your best shot. You know, and if you're that serious, you will find the money. You will. You will ask Uncle whoever, you will take out a loan, you will put it on 3 credit cards, you will do what it takes. And I know that because I've done that.
And that's their business too, right? Like I like to bring up this analogy. You need a car. Car's not cheap. You go into the car lot. You say, I don't have 15,000 for a car. I don't think you can get a car for less than 15 grand these days. Maybe a cheap, 2011 Kia Rio like mine. But even the price on those doubled. I don't know what the heck is going on here. So you go into the car lot, you say, I don't have 8 grand. The dealer gives you a blank stare in return. That's your business. You need a car to get from A to B. You have to go and get it. And what do they do in dealerships? They give you financing. So you can take a loan. That's what it is. You take a loan to do something because it's a big thing and it needs to be done. What are you going to do? Walk to work?
Right.
I live here on the outskirts of Houston half the time. There's not even a bus. You can't even, you need a car. you need a car. Yeah, it's expensive. I hear you. I agree with you. Appreciate that. But you need to go and get that money. And for everybody listening who does not have a debilitating disease, again, stay on top of it right now. Do all the stuff we talk about. Don't wait until something breaks, and then you won't be in that type of an emergency. Maintain your vehicle, and then you won't need to buy a new one in an emergency situation.
And we do have a deal with a financing company, a funding department. So people can literally finance this. But I'll tell you, this is just a prediction, but I think people are more open to enroll into the school because subconsciously it's a business. So it's like, okay, I can learn how to do what Dr. Reese is doing and create a career. And so people like that thought of being able to make their money back, versus just spending the money to get my health back. Because most people don't put health number one.
Not just your health too, though. I fixed my health first, and then boom, immediately my mom was next. No more osteoporosis. All right, who's next? Called my dad up. Hadn't seen my dad in 11 years. His eyes were bulging out of his head from thyroid.
Wow.
Right? He was fat. He was fat and bald. Wasn't looking good. Immediately switched him from beer to wine. Lost 40 pounds over the next like 2 months. 40 pounds. 40 pounds is life changing. And his eyes were back in his head the next time I saw him. And that was only like weeks, like 3 weeks later, his eyes were back in his head. You know, so when you learn this for yourself, you can very, very easily help other people, providing that they're willing to do it. And you realize that, yeah, most people actually are easy. You know, I said before, thyroid cases can be tricky. They absolutely can, but a lot of times it's actually not. You actually do see quite a good result quite quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a crazy little business we're in.
So before we sign out here, gentlemen,
Mhm.
you think we could see one or two more of those little testimonials?
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Fire them up, Levi. Some
They
good
are
ones at the
great.
top. Go to the top, please.
And I know so few people watch them. It is a shame. It's a shame that when it's you, Dr. Reese, you're just saying something you're walking through the park, you know, just talking some reality, some truth about this, and then that goes viral. But then, yeah, we actually get the results here and nobody watches it. So we're forcing people to listen to these right now. But these are great.
Yeah. You can skip the tumor. What's next after the tumor?
Skip the tumor, he says.
It's type 2. Keep going. Kidney function restored. Keep
That's
going.
an important one. What do you mean keep going? These are huge.
Keep going, Levi. There's some other one. Hip pain gone in 2 weeks. That's a good one. I like that one. This guy, this Southern guy, I love the accent.
You go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Ed is here. I see him.
So Ed,
Yeah.
you're dancing again? Your pain's gone?
Yes. It's amazing. You know, I just finished up my 120 this past week. And, you know, it just, I can't say enough about the whole program. You know, like you said, I was having trouble dancing. We travel a lot, my wife and I do. And we have these conferences, and sometimes on Saturday night, they'll have a 2-hour dance thing. And before the program, I could only dance maybe, you know, a long country song. My hips was hurting so bad, I couldn't wait for the song to be over with. And we just had another conference, a little over a month ago, I guess. And it was a 2-hour long deal, and I danced 2 hours, never stopped. Even the wife got tired, had to go sit down for a minute, and I still stayed out there dancing.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it's you know, and the reason I started a program in the first place was my hips were hurting, my knee was hurting. I was having really bad back pain when I would go to bed trying to turn or toss. It hurt so bad it'd take my breath away. And, you know, all of that went away within 2 weeks.
Awesome.
And it just, you know, it rocks.
It's awesome, man. It's so good to hear.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what happens, you know, what after the 120, you know, what the program in details of that coming up. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a video in there. I just added it last week, so that'll tell you everything. And
yeah,
you know, we're here for you for another 7 months or whatever it is.
Yep.
You know,
well, I'm looking forward to it.
We want to see you get even better.
I hear you. Me too.
All right. That is awesome. Great, Ed.
That one was good. I love that accent too. Was that Kentucky, you think?
I don't know, man. But we get people from all over the world, and it just Australia. We get all these accents, and
One
we got-
more. What do you think
all
about
right.
this heart palpitations, vertigo?
What's under her, Levi? PCOS.
PCOS, that's a big one. Let's do it.
It's a huge one.
And anybody
So
can
coming
look at
into-
these, by the way. This is peaceoverpain.com, right?
Yep.
/case studies.
Well, there's a link there. They can be able to see the case studies.
Yeah, at the top of the screen, it's all those little tabs. The tab that says results.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Peaceoverpain.com. If you want to see a lot of these if you want to see a lot of these case studies here.
This, I have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and that comes with, you know, everything from skin issues, excess hair growth, fatigue. I would never get a period. It would be, you know, years and years would go by, and I'd maybe get one every 2 to 3 years. On this program alone, the 4 months I've been on it, I've gotten a period every month, and that's like unheard of with my health condition and my experience. With PCOS, you do have insulin resistance, and I did have diabetes, so my sugar levels would be in the 200s pretty regularly. And on this program, they've been in the low 100s over the past 4 months, which is just giving me more energy. I'm not having like super crazy cravings of anything. I sleep better because my sugar isn't so elevated.
Eli, can you pause that?
Have really
Yeah, so and she's about 35 years old, which is young for us, for our demographic. But thank goodness we got this woman going, because again, the female issues are so big, the PCOS, the endometriosis. These are things that supposedly can't be reversed, you know.
These are
But
huge. This is life changing. She just throws that in there too, like, oh, I also had diabetes, like, because that's
yeah,
part of the syndrome, kind of. But like, she's got
yeah,
so many symptoms that diabetes is just like an, oh yeah, that too.
yeah. And it's for her to go from one period a year, or one every 2 years, she said, or something like that, to every month. And she showed up to my book release party, and she was so grateful, man. She was just like, thank you so much for changing my life. She was so grateful. And yeah, man. So it's pretty cool. We got a lot of them. But the big one, Ryan, is Kim. Kim had the tumors. I mentioned that. She came back. She came back 10 years later, and sat down with Sean to do the interview. And she said that when her son graduates, she's going to send me the diploma. Yeah.
This is huge stuff, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, anybody, you should check out peaceoverpain.com. If the only thing you do is go and check out those testimonials, I think it will be well worth your time. I guarantee that you know somebody who has one of those problems, and you can show them that it is possible to reverse them, because all of your doctors, probably all of your doctors, are going to tell you, if you have PCOS, nope, can't do anything about it. A lot of those problems we talked about, they're going to say, nope, can't do anything about it. Just got to manage it with drugs. It's the best you can do. And then, yeah, you can expect to just get worse and worse and worse over time. You're lucky if it's managed well. They won't use that exact language, but that's the gist of it. But almost everything is reversible. And when you have a three-pronged approach like this, and it's not even fair to call it three-pronged, because we use so many different nutrients, and there's so many different, herbal products and stuff that we can grab, that three-prong is still an oversimplification. You guys have a great program, because we're already pretty comprehensive with the nutrition, but you add in the actual mental health in there, the mindfulness, and especially that postural therapy too, done properly. The postural therapy changed my life, guys. Honestly, I had posture problems, and I was probably going downhill because they were just getting worse. And there was some things that I wasn't going to be able to fix. And if I keep sitting down 14 hours a day on the computer, it's not going to be good. We have some people in this business who know the nutrition in and out, and their posture sucks, and they're not doing too well. And that's the answer. There's more to health than just nutrition. It's a huge part of it, but there's more as well. And I think you guys just do a fantastic job. And I think that's a fair price, man. I don't know why you said thousands and thousands and thousands. I guess there is 8,000s there, but still, you're
Well,
making it sound like it was 30.
I'm sure it will go up at some point. I mean, it really depends on testimonials, Ryan. Once we start doubling what we have, then it's kind of like, Michael Jordan scores 30 points a year, and then all of a sudden he scores 40 points a year, and then it's like, at some point, the owner of the team's got to raise the salary, because there's more expenses. It's just business. But yeah, just a quick story before we leave here. I had this client not too long ago. Her name's Lisa, And I could tell she was just really, really uptight. And I said, are you doing your nutrition? Yes. Are you doing your posture? Yes. I'm like, all right, have you cried yet? She goes, no, I never cry. She's one of these very stern women. It's like, no, I never cry. And I'm like, well, why is that? So I start asking her questions. We start talking about her mother and her relationship with her mother. And I start peeling back the onion a little bit. And I'm like, look, you need to cry. If you want to heal, you need to cry. She's like, all right. I'm like, keep doing the mindfulness course because everyone gets a mindfulness course. Keep keep practicing. Keep doing that. You're gonna cry. And she goes, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. 1 month goes by. She doesn't cry. 2 months go by. She doesn't cry. 3 months go by. She doesn't cry. Month 4, I finally get a message from Coach Amber, who was her coach, and she says, hey, I just want to let you know, Lisa told me to tell you she finally cried, and it was for about 45 minutes. And she's one of our big testimonials now. So, it's where the mindfulness comes in and peeling back the onion and getting people to go into their subconscious mind and see what trauma they're holding and what they need to release and keep working with their inner child and just keep working, man, because the mind is powerful. That computer in your skull is powerful. And I could even make a case that it's more powerful than the nutrition and the posture, but it's all encompassing, and head to toe healing is here.
So great that you guys could join me today. I really enjoyed this episode. Very
I would love
important
to I would love to post this on Rumble if you let me.
You can, absolutely.
Okay. I would love a copy of this. This is going to be a banger, as we would say here at the clinic. A banger.
I'll polish it up a little bit for you.
Sure.
And send it over. And yeah, once again, peaceoverpain.com. It's Peace Over Pain on every platform, yeah?
Yep. Or dr.reese.
Dr. Reese, Peace Over Pain, Coach Levi. All of this is going to be in the description as well, whether you're listening or you're watching on video.
And Coach Sean.
Absolutely. He's doing good too. I see his face a lot more, which is very good. He's got a nice face, nice voice. He talks well.
Yes, yeah, that's I had to put him on camera. He sits down with me and goes on camera, and
he was born for the camera, to be honest.
Yes. He's charming. He's got a great smile, and people like talking to him. He's caring, and we got a nice vibe here. We laugh a lot. Levi was talking about he wanted to go skiing. I said, how could skiing be better than this? Like, we're changing people's lives. We're laughing every day. This is cool. I'm like, Levi.
I had to bring it up again.
Yeah, yeah, man. This is fun.
Well, it's a great thing you got going there. So thank you guys once again. Thank you everybody for watching. As always, remember that you can find everything that I do on my website, notusbooks.org, including the books that I've written and helped publish. You can also find an archive of this podcast on the website, notusbooks.org, and you can download the episodes there for free. The reason the archive is there is because this podcast has been taken down before. Last year, 2023, we got taken down, and I'm trying to back them up on these other platforms now as well. But you can always just download the episode. And actually, on the archive version, there's a special treat there at the end if you stick around all the way to the end after we sign out on the archive. You can find all my social media links on the website as well and in the description. And remember that all these episodes do go up to Patreon at least 1 week early. And every time there's a video available, it's on Patreon. Many of those videos will get put onto YouTube and Rumble and so on, but all of the video versions of these podcasts will be on Patreon for sure. There's also some extra content there, a couple of extra videos that exist nowhere else. There's our weekly Zoom meeting that we do with the distributors and I, where we go pretty deep into specific diseases, specific products, and we go over case studies in real time every week. And those are always posted to the Patreon, patreon.com/therealnotus. And we appreciate the support either way. And I think that's it for now, everybody. Appreciate you once again. Stay healthy, my friends. Until next time.
Jumpstart your head-to-toe healing journey with the Dr. Reese book trilogy. Peace Over Pain is the cult classic that explains how head-to-toe healing works and how the medical monopoly doesn't. Reverse the Cause lays out the root causes to over 60 chronic conditions. And Dinner with Dr. Reese is a unique cookbook that contains 100 recipes without the destructive pour-for foods. Together, all 3 books set you on a path to head-to-toe healing. Get yours today on Amazon, Audible, or peaceoverpain.com. Also, if you'd like to ask a question, tune in every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern for Dr. Reese Live.